Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff told the reason why she could be vulnerable in the early rounds of the US Open. Coco Gauff is one of tennis' most talked about assets, given the huge pull she has not just in America, but across the entire planet. A young, talented superstar who is affable and relatable. At just 21 years old, she is already a two-time Grand Slam singles champion and is widely expected to add to that tally across the next decade. And even though she did win one of those events this year, there have been huge questions over her ability to keep performing at the very highest level, given the glaring deficiencies with which she has been struggling. Now, ahead of the US Open's commencement, she has been sent a warning. Coco Gauff sent warning ahead of the US Open, given that this claim actually came before Gauff split with her coaching team on the eve of the US Open. This gloomy notion might actually be even more justified as questions over her ability to compete for the title have only increased. Matt Roberts, speaking on the tennis podcast, admitted, "And I do think the New York factor here is interesting because I think as a kind of reflex, I'm going, well, that's going to help Gauff. You know, she's won this title. The crowd's going to be behind her. She's going to bring it. She's probably going to play a lot of night sessions. All of that kind of thing. I generally stack that in her favor here. And actually, I do think there's a scenario, and I think we probably saw it last year, where it can go the other way, where you're not confident with your game, and actually this sort of increased pressure can be a lot. And we saw the double faults a lot last year, didn't we? In that match against Emma Navarro. And she never really played her best tennis here last year. And so I think that could go either way. And I know that's probably not groundbreaking analysis. It's not helpful. I don't know what the answer is there, but I think you will probably get a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's Gauff in New York. It's going to help her." Yeah, and I think last year we saw the opposite, potentially. Like, if you're not confident in your game, and everyone's come there to see you, like, it's a lot. David Law then added, "She could be vulnerable in early rounds too. It's on the draw." As noted earlier, the decision to split from her coach has come as a shock to many. However, wrapped up within that surprise is the intriguing move to welcome Gavin McMillan into her team, the biomechanics coach who is famed for fixing Aryna Sabalenka's serving problems 2 years ago. Since he teamed up with the Belarusian, she has become the dominant force in women's tennis and the favorite for nearly every event she enters. Coco Gauff has clearly seen this transformation and is keen to undergo that rehabilitation as well. It will not be an overnight process, and the timing of it is confusing on the eve of the US Open. Clearly, she does not want to wait to start fixing what is by some distance the biggest issue in her game. Bright light, fragile first steps. At Flushing Meadows, under the electric hum of Arthur Ashe Stadium, every rally, every footstep is charged with expectation. For Coco Gauff, fresh off her triumphant win at Roland Garros in June 2025, this glow of momentum is tempered by something less tangible, a vulnerability that she herself acknowledged could surface in the early rounds of the US Open. So what lies beneath this momentary fragility? Here's a layered journey into the heart of what Gauff revealed, and the intricate interplay between technical struggle, timing, and mental resilience. Serving as her siege. At the core of Gauff's self-identified vulnerability is an issue familiar to tennis fans and commentators alike. Her serve. Despite flashes of brilliance, her wide serve on the deuce court is lauded as one of the tour's most threatening. There's a glaring inconsistency. This dichotomy stems from a disconnect between intent and execution, a biomechanical and mental mismatch that has cost her dearly in high-stakes moments. She leads the entire WTA Tour in double faults this season, an alarming statistic given the level she competes at. Reuters. Tennis 365. Clutch points. Former coach Rick Matchy describes her serve as biomechanically disconnected, urging that this isn't just a technical flaw, but one causing mental ripples. Matchy insists that with the science-based plan, this glaring flaw can be reset. TalkSport. Clutch points. These serve issues have exacted a tangible toll. Early exits, unforced errors, and razor-thin margins slipping away just when their significance looms largest. Reuters. The Sun. CNBC TV 18. Timing of the shakeup. Yet the story grows more complex when we consider timing. Gauff made a stunning coaching change mere days before the U.S. Open began, parting with longtime coach Matthew Daly and doubling down on support with Jean-Christophe Forel and a biomechanics expert, Gavin McMillan. Reuters, The Sun, TalkSport. The new structure, while forward-thinking, comes at a delicate juncture. Early phase turbulence, whether internal serve mechanics or external team reconfiguration, can delay full cohesion just when it's most crucial. Gauff herself hinted at how pressure, most intense at the start of a Grand Slam, can expose unresolved vulnerabilities. When you're playing these tournaments, the pressure is always on. CNN. Confidence in suspension. Beyond the biomechanics and team dynamics lies another layer, confidence. A striking pattern has emerged. Gauff has struggled to string wins against top 5-0 opponents, routinely falling in straight sets. She last beat such a player at Berlin earlier this year, and those losses have magnified doubts about her readiness at this stage of the season. The Tennis Gazette. Tennis legend Chanda Rubin, now a commentator, put it bluntly. While Gauff's talent is undeniable, the abrupt transition from triumph to turbulence raises concern. Does she have enough matches behind her on hard courts to feel that? Rubin asked, capturing the uneasy space between inherent ability and mental preparation. Essentially sports. Vulnerability as a mirror. Here's what Gauff's admission really reflects. Technical tension. The serve, her ace and Achilles heel, is not just a mechanical battle, but a psychological tightrope. In early rounds, when nerves bite and rhythm is tentative, the serve's volatility becomes glaringly dangerous. Transition turbulence. Revamping coaching seconds before the U.S. Open is admirable in ambition, but it risks short-term dissonance. Trusting new voices, adjusting routines, and reshaping strategy all take time. Time the early rounds don't afford. Mental precarity. Grand Slams amplify doubt. If the rest of Gauff's season hadn't hit its stride, that existing insecurity can amplify. Opening matches, when the crowd roars and the spotlight burns brightest, can magnify any latent hesitation. Self-awareness and growth. To own vulnerability, not as weakness, but as a signal, speaks volumes about her maturity. Coco isn't pretending invulnerability. She's diagnosing the tension where it lives and inviting us into her process of overcoming it. As the stadium lights rise, imagine the opening moments of Gauff's next match. The swelling crowd, the stakes, the rhythm still off, but with newfound guidance at her side. The tension is palpable, and that's exactly where champions are made. Vulnerability isn't a crack in confidence, it's a conduit for transformation. Gauff's honesty, eye on her serve, and readiness to evolve make her more than a competitor. They make her a fierce sculptor of her own future.